Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at the surprise star of Saviors of Uldum metagame, which is the Murloc Paladin. This wasn't exactly an archetype that I thought would be great. Okay, Murloc Paladin got Tip the Scales in Saviors of Uldum. Tip the Scales 8 mana, summon 7 Murlocs from your deck, so you get to fill a board with Murlocs. But at 8 mana, it's not very effective on turn 8. What really makes this deck is Prismatic Lens. Draw a minion, add a spell from your deck, swap the costs. So you're often going to get Tip the Scales that costs 1 or 2 or 3 when you play Prismatic Lens. So if you coin Prismatic Lens on 3, you get a board full of Murlocs on 4, or you get a board full of Murlocs on 5. And suddenly getting a board full of Murlocs on turn 4, 5, 6 is immensely stronger than getting that board full of Murlocs on turn 8. And that's really the most powerful play of this deck. However, what perhaps surprised me a little bit while playing this deck was that I was actually able to win several games where I did not get that Prismatic Lens Tip the Scales combo off. Because the power of these Murlocs is pretty high. We got a couple of new neutral Murloc cards. We got Mermy, a Reborn Murloc, and we got the Fish Flinger, 2 mana 3 to battlecry add a random Murloc to each player's hand. And these are some pretty powerful additions. And then there's also Sir Finley of the Sands. Well, of course, as long as you have duplicates in your deck, this is just a River Crocolisk, but it's a River Crocolisk with a Murloc tag, so it makes it much better. So overall this deck, just playing Murlocs and doing your Murloc things, it's a mediocre deck. And then when you add the Prismatic Lens, it becomes really, really good. And the part that surprised me the most was just that going with that Murloc curve actually also wins games. You're not completely dependent on Tip the Scales at all. Deck building wise, Murloc Paladin sort of builds itself, but not quite. This is the most successful current list. I just picked this from HS Replay, but I mean, what can you really do to build this deck? You really want the Prismatic Lens Tip the Scales combo, you really want to fill your deck with Murlocs, so that leaves just a couple of slots. Like this build has one copy of Murloc Tidehunter. The second copy of Tidehunter would be the only good Murloc that is not used already in this deck. And Tidehunter is a pretty weak pull from Tip the Scales. It's good to be played on 2, but weak as a pull, so okay, that goes just as a one-off. Then the only other non-Murloc cards in the deck, there's Zephyrus the Great. If your deck has no duplicates, wish for the perfect card. And Zephyrus has a dual purpose. Sure, the main way you use Zephyrus is that once you have drawn all the duplicates from your deck, you play Zephyrus and you look for lethal. Excellent tool for doing that. However, it's important to note that not all matchups go like that. You don't always have Prismatic Lens, you're also playing in tempo-based matchups, and just playing Zephyrus on 2. Okay, it is just a 3-2 minion, but sometimes you do need to do that for tempo, and don't be afraid to do so, it's okay. Same with Sir Finley of the Sands. Yeah, it's great if you can change your hero power into something more powerful, and sometimes you have an opening to do that. But don't be afraid to just play it out as a minion. Don't be afraid of pulling it Tip the Scales, it's fine. It's okay stats still. Then the other non-Murloc cards in the deck, there's 2 copies of True Silver Champion, so you have a little bit of that weapon control, and there's Leroy Jenkins. Well, we're playing an aggro deck, we want a finisher, we want Leroy. So in practice, the only real deck building decisions with this deck are pretty much, do you use 2 copies of True Silver Champion, or maybe none. That's 2 slots that you can play around with. And many players have chosen to include a copy of Jeff Gnome in their deck. The same idea kind of as with Zephyrus. So battlecry, if your deck is empty, summon 6/6/6 Greasefire Elementals. You're going to draw through your deck. In many cases, why not have one last hurrah at the end? But actually, Gnome is not that great in this deck. Because in those games where you already have your double Tip the Scales, you're in such a good position. There are very few such games where having one more board with Gnome is actually going to change the end result. Those games do exist, but they are such a minor number that Gnome is actually lowering your win rate a little bit, should you choose to include it. But yeah, Murloc Paladin. Play Murlocs, try to make boards that are difficult to remove, try to get your Prismatic Lens, get that Tip the Scales, be brave, go forth, attack, you have Leroy, you have Zephyrus, find lethal near the end. Very, very tempo oriented, the way Hearthstone is meant to be played really. and surprisingly successful as well. As for the mulligans with this deck, the most important card to mulligan for is the Prismatic Lens, because this just decides games. Other than Prismatic Lens, there are not a lot of cards that you would like to keep. I do keep Murloc Tidecaller every time it's offered. In addition to Murloc Tidecaller, it's just like maybe Fish Flinger, and that's about it. You're mulliganing away almost all the Murlocs too. No Oracle, Toxfin, Warrior, Tidehunter keeps. Just really heavily looking for that Prismatic Lens. Because when you mulligan hard for the Prismatic Lens, you're going to see it much more than half of the time by turn 4. And that allows the deck to make its real power plays. And if you don't find that, okay, your curve is pretty low. So even if you don't keep much more than the Tidecaller, you're still going to draw cards that you will be able to play in the early turns. Definitely one of the decks that caught me by surprise a little, but it really works. If you enjoyed this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at Murloc Paladin in action. Like this. This is how you want to draw Prismatic Lens. And then I will draw Tip the Scales. But then, because it happens to be Control Warrior, which is one of the few classes that can actually kill all my stuff, despite that, then I will still lose. A little bit nasty. Well, we're going to go on him. He threatens to crush me, which probably is true. I would assume that he will be able to crush me. Ooh, I do like a Nightmare Amalgam here. Let's play the Amalgam, hit him in the face a little. But he kept 2 cards, so there should be a Brawl or a Warpath, which will be able to answer my beautiful Tip the Scales. Well, that's interesting. Is he going to magnetize like a Celiax on that? I mean, he could. Sample 1 mana, Tip the Scales. I believe I will still be hitting him in the face. I could have killed this Snip Snap, but that felt unnecessary. He can coin Celiax on it, but I have a Toxfin, so I don't mind too much. Is this the coin Celiax play? It is. I mean, that Celiax had to come out someday. I knew that. Is it time for me to Tip the Scales? I mean, it probably is, right? But I do need to kill the Celiax, which means using the Toxfin. I'll only get 5 Murlocs out of it. If I play another Prismatic Lens this turn, no, Tip the Scales will be fine. Give this Murloc Poisonous so that we can kill that. Do I also trade this one in? I think I actually will. I'll trade that one in too. Then I'll Tip the Scales. Nothing with Rush, okay. Then we see if there's a Brawl. Now we saw one card that he kept. And Wade and Cream. Hello from the States, okay, hi. There is a Warpath. Which means that this first bunch of Murlocs will be lost. How many Murlocs do I have left? I still have some. But I don't necessarily have to play another Tip the Scales immediately. I might not even be able to. There are 2 Murlocs that are too expensive. If I play Prismatic Lens, I will lose tempo. If I happen to draw one of those 2. Well, it's 75% to be able to Tip the Scales this turn again. I guess it's worth it. It's 75%. Yes. So we will do this. Whee! And then I was like, oh my god, whee! But now if he has another Warpath or another Brawl, then I guess he wins. He has a Brawl. This is why, I mean, I drew the nuts, but Contra Warrior is still good. I don't have any Murlocs left in the deck. This variant does not have Chef Nomi. Most variants do, but this variant does not. Let's get some random Murlocs going. Ooh, a Scargill. That's going to be good later, when I want to play these Murlocs that cost a lot right now. But that turn is not yet here. But it's Surfing of the Sands time, right? I believe it is. Deal 2 damage. Or summon 2 recruits. I think 2 recruits is better. Maybe not. Maybe we'll take 2 damage. Hit me in the face a little. Let's see. Hi, Profan. Yeah, everything's great. I was planning on winning with some prismatic lenses, but I ended up meeting a Contra Warrior. He goes to 30. Next turn he can rush some Tomb Wardens. So how much damage do I have? I have 8. 8 plus 4. That's 12. I need to try to optimize my damage this turn. I have 3 slots on the board. It has to be the Scargill if I want to. So it's just Scargill. And it's the Grim Scale. And it's the War Leader. And then everything is going face. But that's not quite enough to kill him. So he survives at 4, but he has the hero power. So he can go to 11. I don't have 11. I still have Zephyrs. Yeah, I already saw the Ziliacs.
No tomb can hold me.
So this is enough for him to go to 11. There's no taunts on the way now. I mean, I have 10 from hand. It looks like we did get him after all. Right? Hi, JD Marks. No, I haven't tried that. What deck are you playing now? I'm playing the most brainless deck in this game. Maybe. Because I am playing the Murloc Paladin. Had I actually killed this Contra Warrior? I can't believe this. It is always also about time. Maybe Highlander Rest Priest. Oh, no, probably not Rest Priest, because Rest Priest, the consistency is just so important. I think Rest Priest is maybe one priest target that I wouldn't do Highlander, because I really want to have those multiple resurrect effects. Do I believe that I will need Zephyrs to find lethal? And the answer is no. I want to play this for tempo. Because I need tempo here. Hi, Arkon. Not a lot of Murlocs yet. Cool. See, Zephyrs, tempo, good. Zephyrs is going to kill the Tersatron. I'm going to Cold-Eyed Seer here. I probably will, right? The alternative is to play Fish Flinger. Hope that I can hit a 1-mana Murloc. He probably doesn't have a Goblin Bomb, because I think he would have a Goblin Bomb to the Tidecaller if he had one. And would he have? He didn't necessarily have to. Cold-Eyed Seer, this becomes 4 health. Is it easier to trade away than next things that come? I guess it is a little bit. Nah, we'll play Fish Flinger. Can we get a 1-mana Murloc? We can. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Fish Flinger just delivering. Probably as an on-curve play from 1, for example. I can play Lens now. Then I will be guaranteed, if I get Tip the Scales, I will be guaranteed to be able to play it next turn. Yeah, it has to be the Lens. And it is Tip the Scales. Coming right up. But yeah, there are a couple of these early cards that you can consider keeping. But only a couple. Like you don't want Oracle or Toxfin or Bluegill or Tidehunter or Finley or anything of this sort. It's really just Tidecaller, Mermy, maybe Fish Flinger. Let's Tip the Scales. Okay. Does he have an answer? Only 5 mana. Explosive Trap is an answer. He has a random spell from the Marked Shot. He already used 1 Unleash. I don't think he has another. That could be the Explosive Trap. Alright. He might actually have an Explosive Trap there. But he played a minion which allows me to make my minions survive. So I'll hit there first. Then I'll play the Cold Light Seer. No, I don't think Mermy is strong enough. So no, I don't think it's auto-include at all, but I think it's a decent card. You can use it in when you have a right sort of deck. What are the top 3 legendaries everyone should craft first? Well, you should craft cards that you want to play. I mean, like, Zephrys is definitely a top tier legendary, but like, Zephrys is... you need lots of support for it. But stuff like Leroy, Ziliax, those are probably the first ones that come to mind. He can hero power. No, he can't hero power. But he can Wrath the turn after. I think this is still optimal. With 2 mana, well, he can Pounce or Claw. Pounce, Claw, and then there's the Expedition. That's pretty much what he can do here. Next turn he can Wrath. So he could like Wrath the War Leader. If he Wraths the War Leader, then what do? I probably just need to get wide here. I could play Sir Finley and Toxfin. Or I could push 7 instead of 3. If he doesn't have Wrath, he can't kill the War Leader. I think I'll do it like this. He could play the Merchant, but now I have a great answer to the Merchant. There's the Pounce. Maybe I should have included Pounce in my own builds too. It's possible. Now we go in with the War Leader. We saw a little bit of removal, so now we go in. But one more turn and he can stabilize, potentially. 3 mana available to him now. Okay, well, 4 mana with that. Oh, he has a more... Oh, it's a Malygos build. Okay, it's a Malygos build. Alright. Alright, so we're up against the Malygos build then. because of the Moonfire. Pounce is used in other quest builds too, but Moonfire is that's strictly Malygos. But now he delayed his quest by a turn. Now, he will get it next turn. If he has the healing spell, that would be so sweet for him. I'm obviously going all face. But is this enough? Searcher clears the board. Or if there's any healing, that's great. Oh boy. So close but so far away. He also has Starfall. Well, Starfall obviously can clear. Oh dear, that Anubis Defender. That was so good. Then he trades away the War Leader, of course. Well, he won. He actually managed to win. Yes, now it's pretty certain. The only way he doesn't win is like if he doesn't find Starfall or Swipe in the next couple of turns and I get to turn this around with Tip the Scales. But that's exceedingly unlikely. Yeah, there are some pretty decent Malygos builds with the quests right now. Should I dust my mech deck to climb with Paladin? Well, you probably can't climb with the mech deck, so there is that. 2 copies of Tip the Scales now. Well, I've got to kill these, of course. Feels bad, man. And then after that we're going to see if Tip the Scales can tip the scales or not. But he should be stable at the moment. He's at 17 health. That plus 12 from the Hidden Oasis, coupled with the Anubis Defender, was awesome. He's just going to defend more Hidden Oasis, discover more Hidden Oases, if at all possible. Oh, and now he gets to draw, so he will get the Starfall. Yeah, now he's almost guaranteed to have a Starfall. As an upside, I can kill this. And then we're going to play Tip the Scales. But there's almost guaranteed a Starfall at the moment. I really can't imagine a world in which he doesn't have a Starfall here. No, Lodian Swipe, okay. That works too. I have another War Leader left in the deck. War Leader, Grimscale Oracle. That's plus 3 damage. One of these kills the Lodi. Then I have 4 plus... I'm 1 off, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Can't afford to do Cold Light Seer. That's the way it has to go. One of these kills the Lodi. Everything else goes face. 3 off. And I don't think I can do it from here. I don't think playing Cold Light Seer would have been strong enough. He just has so many ways. I mean, it would have protected me a little bit against Starfall. But there's always more of a chance that he doesn't find healing. Like, he doesn't necessarily find another Hidden Oasis. And I might be able to top deck a True Silver Champion. Or Leroy. There are now 2 outs in my deck. That was one of the non-outs in my deck. There's only 2 Murlocs left. Prismatic Lens... Actually, Prismatic Lens can draw me Leroy.
Options.
Or Zephyrus. But it didn't. What about the other one? I still can't kill him now. I don't have enough mana left. I needed to hit that 50-50 and win. There's the Leroy, but there's no mana. He doesn't have anything to lifesteal, no, so I can play that. I needed to win the 50-50 roll, get Zephyrus or Leroy with the first Prismatic Lens. Now he wins if he can heal. He's looking for the Hidden Oasis. Only 9 cards left in the deck, so he probably has one in hand. Then he will heal out of reach of even Zephyrus. He might also find like a taunt. I allowed him to play this. Well, he could have wrathed his own minion anyway. It actually made no difference. And he was able to discover the Hidden Oasis. That was not guaranteed by any means. It wasn't even very likely. Because there are so many choose one cards. There's still an out with Zephyrus. Hero hits there. Choose goes face. But he has another Hidden Oasis in the deck. We actually almost got there. I mean, we had 50% to win the game with the Prismatic Lens. We were so very close. Can't get much closer than that. But now he has another Hidden Oasis in the deck, so if he has drawn that, if it's not at the very bottom, then even Zephyrus can't give lethal. So he's looking for that one now. And I assume he found it. Then there's the matter of me dying. Another small matter. Oh, double ferocious howl. He's going to take a bunch of fatigue, but doesn't he just kill me? He spent one Moonfire. So can he kill? And he spent both swipes, so can he actually kill me?
Your wish is my suggestion.
No, Zephyrus, these are not good minions. He'll be able to kill these off so he doesn't die to fatigue. He still has Starfall. Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that can do it anymore. We were so close, 50% to win the game, but couldn't quite get there. What I really wanted was a Pyroblast, so that he would draw, and then maybe he would die. Would it even have been enough? He would have taken 2, 3, 4. He would have taken 7. No, that would not have been enough either, so... No, there were no outs at that point. Draw your duplicates anyway at some point. Majorino. Let's go. What can a mage do about this? Not much, right? Maybe he can. I don't know. Coin Frostbolt. Coin Ray of Frost, Ray of Frost. Thing is, if he starts answering that, there's the problem that then he reduces number of cards in his hand, and that will make swing turns more difficult. For max Pyro chance, yeah, but Pyro wasn't even enough there, so it didn't end up mattering. Yeah, he had the Ray of Frost. He didn't want to spend the coin so that he can use the coin later. But lo and behold, I happen to have another Tidecaller here. Yay. Not playing the Toxfin yet. Not sure what I would want to give poisons anyway. There's got rank 3 with Combo Priest. Yeah, Combo Priest seems pretty effective at the moment. 7 cards in hand. Probably has to be a tasty fin turn, this one. Just try to keep pushing here. He could coin Pocket Galaxy. Frostnova coin Doomsayer? No Doomsayer. Okay. I use a couple of slots on the board here. Next move. Reno! Oh boy. It's Reno. That's pretty sweet. It did give me some cards though. I'll have to kill the Reno, of course. Don't want to keep drawing more Murlocs. Tip the Scales is coming in the near future. Yeah, I still need to draw more Murlocs. Hate this deck. Which one? Reno Mage or Murlocs? He's running Meteorologist in that. That was a surprise. I did not see that coming. Got both of my War Leaders here. But he's going to have War removal. I think I can afford to play one War Leader here. And trade away the minion. Play the Amalgam too. I mean, this is a singleton deck. So I've seen Reno, I've seen Meteorologist, I've seen Frostnova, I've seen Ray of Frost. His toolkit is getting low. Of course there's Blizzard and stuff, but there's always something. Keep the Scales time. And it's going to be 70 face. Yes, I want to hit him in the face. He could even have a Flame Ward. Or he can have a Flame Strike. That can happen too. Zephrys inactive because Prismatic Lens is still in the deck. I have 8 from hand now. Don't quite have it yet. Is he going to have Alexstrasza? He might. I still need to try to hit him in the face here. I mean, there is the option to play Bluegill, War Leader, but I think I don't want to. There might still be better plays. I might need the Bluegill for hard removal with Toxfin. That's also possible. Does he have a taunt now?
Your wish is my suggestion.
Zephrys, 4 mana. What is Zephrys going to give him? Nice healing touch. So I have 10 plus 4. I have 14. I have 14 damage. And my Zephrys is not active. Oh boy. And he might have an Alexstrasza. It's almost certainly in the deck. This got really difficult all of a sudden. Because if he just Alexes his own face... That's so hard. If he Alexes his own face, he just wins. I think I have to accept that. I don't see a relevant other route. Alex to the face simply wins here. Conjure's Calling on that is very unlikely to win. I mean, it's possible, but it's very unlikely.
My calculations are flawless. Flower power.
But he might Alexstrasza me next turn. But now Zephrys is active. So I get a fireball.
You win this one.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.